Women who make men fall deeply in love and remain strongly attached aren't the ones who give him everything. They're not constantly texting first, always available, or bending over backward to prove how much they care. They have a boundary that can completely change how a man views them and can make them feel truly valuable in his eyes. This one boundary can shift you from being someone he simply likes into someone he genuinely doesn't want to lose. You've been given the wrong message. You've been told that love means sacrifice, giving until you're exhausted, and proving your value through endless attention and devotion. But what if that advice has actually been keeping you stuck, disappointed, and emotionally distant from the kind of man you want? What if the secret to building such a strong connection that a man struggles to imagine his life without you has less to do with everything you give him and more to do with what you are willing to protect? This isn't about playing tricks. It isn't about pretending you don't care. It isn't manipulation. It's about understanding a powerful psychological pattern that can change the way someone experiences your presence. In this video, I'm going to reveal the boundary that confident, unforgettable women often use without even thinking about it. The boundary that encourages a man to value your presence instead of becoming careless with it. The boundary that can shift you from someone he enjoys having around into someone whose absence he genuinely feels. And if you stay until the end, I'll explain exactly why this works, how to use it without creating unnecessary distance, and why this small change can make you more attractive not only to one man, but to emotionally mature, high-value men who enter your life. So take a moment, put your distractions away, and listen closely, because what you're about to hear may challenge some of the relationship advice you've heard for years. And once you understand it, you may start looking at love very differently. Here's something that might completely change your perspective. The way you believe men fall in love may be backward. Many women assume love becomes stronger through constant closeness, sharing every detail, spending every possible moment together, and being completely open and available from the beginning. They believe that the more a man learns about them and the more time they spend together, the deeper his feelings will automatically become. But there is another side to this. Attraction doesn't always grow simply because access becomes unlimited. Sometimes emotional connection needs space, individuality, curiosity, and the feeling that two people are choosing each other rather than depending on each other for their entire identity. And this is where many women unknowingly make a mistake. They become so focused on keeping the connection alive that they stop protecting their own lives. They answer instantly every time. They rearrange their plans. They ignore their own needs. They give more attention whenever they feel him pulling away. Then slowly, the relationship becomes unbalanced. She is trying harder to maintain something that should naturally involve two people. And here's the part you really need to remember. Being loving does not mean becoming endlessly available. You can care deeply and still have limits. You can be warm and still have standards. You can want a man and still refuse to abandon yourself for him. That difference matters more than most people realize. Because when a woman continues living her own life, protecting her time, honoring her values, and expecting mutual effort, she sends a very clear message without having to say a word. She is saying, I want you in my life, but I will not lose myself to keep you there. And that is not rejection. That is self-respect. Stay with me, because the next part explains why this boundary can completely change the emotional dynamic between two people. While you may feel more connected to someone when they're always around, always available, and always willing to say yes, His psychology can work very differently. Many men are naturally motivated by pursuit, effort, and the feeling that something valuable must be earned. And here's the part that may be uncomfortable to accept. When everything comes too easily, when there is no room for curiosity, no personal space, and nothing left to discover, interest doesn't always become stronger. Sometimes it slowly fades. Think about the men you've seen become deeply invested in a woman. In many cases, she wasn't the woman who immediately dropped everything for him. She wasn't available every single time he called. She wasn't constantly making his life effortless by removing every challenge. More often, she was the woman who had her own standards, her own direction, and a life that already felt meaningful before he arrived. He had to show consistency. He had to make an effort. He had to earn a place in her world instead of simply being handed one. Psychologists often describe part of this through the scarcity principle. The human mind can place greater value on things that feel limited, uncommon, or harder to obtain. And this doesn't only happen in romantic relationships. We see it with opportunities, possessions, experiences, and even people's attention. When something requires effort, our minds can become more focused on it. So when a man invests time, attention, and emotional energy into building a connection with you, something important can happen. He begins to recognize the effort he has made. And because people naturally want their efforts to feel meaningful, they may start seeing the relationship as more valuable. But here's where this becomes even more interesting. It isn't simply about making him chase you. It's about what happens internally while he is choosing to invest. Every time he makes an effort to understand you, every time he rises to meet your standards, and every time he chooses to continue building the relationship with genuine intention, he is participating in the connection. That investment can strengthen attachment because he isn't just receiving something from you, he is actively contributing to it. And the more meaningful effort someone puts into a healthy relationship, the more personally significant that relationship can become. Remember that, because this is where many people misunderstand the entire idea. While you may feel closer to someone when they're always around, always available, always saying yes, the male mind often works in the opposite way. A man's psychology is naturally wired to pursue, to earn, and to put effort into what he truly values. And here's the part that can be difficult to accept. When something comes too easily, when there is no challenge, when there's no mystery left to discover, his interest doesn't increase. It slowly fades. Think about every man you know who is completely captivated by a woman. Chances are, she wasn't the one who dropped everything for him. She wasn't available every single time he reached out. She wasn't the one who removed every obstacle to make his life easier. Instead, the woman he can't stop thinking about is the one who made him put in effort, the one who had standards, the one whose life was already full and meaningful, making him earn a place within it. Psychologists often refer to this as the scarcity principle. The human mind naturally places greater value on things that are rare or difficult to obtain. This doesn't only apply to relationships, it applies to almost everything. The harder something is to achieve, the more valuable it appears in our minds. And when a man invests his time, effort, and emotional energy to gain your attention, something powerful begins happening inside his mind. He starts convincing himself that you must be worth the effort. Otherwise, why would he keep trying so hard? But here's where it becomes even more fascinating. It's not only about the pursuit itself. It's about what happens psychologically while he is pursuing. Every time he works to gain your attention, every time he rises to meet your standards, every time he decides to continue pursuing despite the challenge, he makes another emotional investment. And the more he invests, the more valuable you become in his eyes. Not simply because of who you are, but because of everything he has invested to reach you. This explains why overly needy women often struggle to keep a man's interest over time. It's not because they don't deserve love. It's because they've unknowingly removed the psychological process that often creates deep attachment. They've made themselves too easy to reach, too available to fully appreciate, and too predictable to keep pursuing. A woman who understands this, who creates healthy emotional space, who protects her own life and standards, awakens something deeply rooted in a man's psychology. She becomes the prize he wants to earn, rather than the comfort he simply accepts. And that small shift in the relationship dynamic is often what transforms simple attraction into deep emotional attachment. But here's where many women misunderstand this idea. They assume it means acting cold, distant, or playing mind games. It doesn't. It means recognizing your own value. It means maintaining healthy standards. It means never giving up yourself just to hold on to someone else. And in just a moment, you'll discover exactly how to do this without pushing away the kind of man you're hoping to attract. Let me share something that may be painful, but is important to understand. Most relationships don't end because two people stop caring. They end because one person begins caring so much that they lose themselves in the process. And more often than not, that person is the woman. She gradually reshapes her entire life around his schedule, his preferences, and his needs, believing that this level of devotion will make him love her even more. But here's the painful irony. The more she sacrifices herself, the less engaged he often becomes. Not because he lacks compassion, but because she's unintentionally teaching him that she has no boundaries, no personal standards, and perhaps most importantly, no life beyond him. When a man feels like he has become your only source of happiness, your highest priority, your entire world, it doesn't always make him feel honored. Often it makes him feel overwhelmed. Imagine it from his point of view. At the beginning, he admired your independence, your ambitions, and your fulfilling life. You had friends, interests, and dreams that gave you energy. You were a confident woman who chose to spend time with him. But little by little, without even noticing, you began canceling plans just to be available whenever he wanted. You stopped sharing your own dreams because your attention shifted entirely toward his. You slowly placed him at the center of your world. Ironically, the moment he became everything to you, you became less exciting to him because the woman who first attracted him, the one with her own passions, purpose, and healthy boundaries, began to disappear. In her place stood someone who seemed to need him just to feel complete. Deep down, every man understands that this kind of emotional dependence isn't the same as genuine love. It's dependency. That's why so many women experience the heartbreaking pattern where everything starts wonderfully, but eventually he begins pulling away. They believe they made a mistake, when in reality, they were doing exactly what they thought love required. They loved without limits. They gave without protecting themselves. They consistently placed his happiness ahead of their own. The difficult truth is that limitless love, while beautiful in theory, can slowly weaken attraction in real life. When there are no boundaries, there is no healthy tension. Without tension, excitement fades. And when excitement fades, love can gradually become comfortable but emotionally lifeless. There's another level to this that causes even more damage. When you abandon your boundaries, you also begin losing respect for yourself. And if you no longer respect yourself, it's difficult to expect someone else to fully respect you. That loss of self-respect appears in countless subtle ways. It influences how you speak to yourself, the behavior you tolerate even when it conflicts with your values, and the way you make yourself smaller to protect someone else's ego. Men notice this. They can sense when a woman doesn't truly value herself, even if she never says it directly. Sadly, it doesn't inspire them to value her more. It often creates the opposite effect. Deep down, every person, whether man or woman, desires a partner who understands their own worth. The strongest relationships, the ones where passion continues year after year, are built upon mutual respect. And genuine respect can only exist where healthy boundaries are present. Boundaries quietly communicate, I care about you deeply, but I won't lose myself in the process of loving you. This is the foundation of the principle I'm about to reveal, because once you truly understand this idea, everything begins to change. Not only the way he sees you, but the way you see yourself. And that transformation, that shift in your confidence, your energy, and your self-worth is where the real change begins. Here's what many people misunderstand about boundaries. They believe boundaries are walls designed to keep others away, but that's not their true purpose. Boundaries are healthy standards that teach people how to love and respect you. They're not acts of punishment or rejection. Instead, they create the structure necessary for healthy, lasting love. When you maintain strong boundaries, you communicate something powerful without speaking a single word. You show that you value yourself, that your time and emotional energy matter, and that reaching your heart is something to be earned rather than automatically expected. And here's the beautiful contradiction. This doesn't drive good men away. More often, it naturally draws them closer. Why does this happen? Because deep inside a man's mind is a natural desire to feel that he has earned something truly valuable. He doesn't dream of being with someone who would choose just anyone. He wants to feel chosen because he proved himself worthy of that place in your life. When you have healthy standards, when you protect your boundaries, and when you refuse to settle for less than you deserve, you quietly invite him to rise and meet you at that level. Think about the most meaningful things you've achieved in life. Were they simply handed to you? The career you're proud of required dedication. The accomplishments that still make you smile came through effort. The respect you've earned from others wasn't given overnight. It was built slowly, one choice at a time. So why should love work any differently? When something requires patience, consistency, and emotional investment, our minds naturally place greater value on it. That is why women who remain unforgettable are often those who protect their independence, maintain healthy mystery, and stay true to their standards. They love deeply, but they never lose themselves while doing it. They give with an open heart, but they also expect the same level of care in return. They make space for the right man, yet they never make themselves endlessly available for everyone who comes along. Stay with me, because the next part explains why this matters even more than most people realize. It may completely change the way you look at relationships. Boundaries also create something many people overlook. They create emotional security. Many women believe that being completely available, always saying yes, and constantly adjusting to someone else's needs will make a man feel safe. In reality, it often produces the opposite result. Without limits, without structure, and without clear expectations, uncertainty begins to grow. He isn't sure where he stands. He doesn't fully understand what is expected of him. He has no clear picture of how to succeed in building a healthy connection with you. But when your boundaries are consistent, everything becomes easier. Your actions create clarity. Without endless conversations, you show him exactly how to treat you by the standards you consistently keep. You establish a healthy framework instead of leaving everything to guesswork. Instead of wondering what the rules are, He understands them through your behavior. That allows him to focus on building the relationship rather than constantly trying to figure out where he fits. Here's something many people never realize until much later. Strong boundaries are never only about the other person. They're first about protecting your own peace. They remind you of your worth every single day. They protect your confidence, and confidence has always been one of the most attractive qualities anyone can have. Keep listening, because the next idea connects everything together in a way most relationship advice completely misses. The boundary I'm about to explain isn't complicated at all, yet it can completely change the direction of a relationship. It becomes the foundation that supports every other healthy habit you build. Once you truly understand it and begin living by it consistently, many of the confusing relationship patterns you've experienced suddenly start making sense. This is the moment everything comes together. It's the principle that changes not only the way someone sees you, but also the way you begin seeing yourself. It replaces emotional dependence with self-respect. It replaces chasing with mutual effort. It replaces feeling taken for granted with genuine appreciation. Here it is. Never make someone your highest priority if they continue treating you like only one of many options. The sentence sounds simple, almost too simple. Yet when you begin applying it to your daily life, it quietly transforms everything. Many women, simply because they care deeply, unknowingly reverse this balance. They make him the center of their world while accepting a place somewhere near the bottom of his. They reorganize their schedules around his availability while he only reaches out whenever it suits him. They pour emotional energy into someone who hasn't shown the same level of commitment in return. Pause for a second and honestly ask yourself if you've ever done this before. The answer could reveal more than you expect. Living by this boundary means matching effort instead of overextending yourself. If he sends one thoughtful message during the day, you don't overwhelm him with 5 hoping to keep his attention. If he only suggests meeting when all his other plans fall through, you don't immediately cancel important commitments just to make yourself available. If he treats you as one possibility among many, you don't build your entire emotional world around him. Matching energy isn't about punishment. It isn't about playing games or pretending not to care. It's about allowing actions to stay balanced and healthy. You're giving what is freely given, while protecting your own emotional well-being. This approach keeps your confidence intact, because your happiness never depends on someone else's inconsistent attention. It also allows the right person to naturally step forward with genuine effort, instead of relying on your endless availability. That's where strong attraction grows over time. That's where lasting respect begins. And as you'll discover next, this simple shift doesn't just change how someone responds to you, it changes the kind of relationships you attract from the very beginning.